So I don't know very much about you, Magdi.
Um,
Do you speak about non-dualism?
yes. Ella, let me ask you, do you have any headphones? Oh, you have them on, okay. So I wasn't seeing clearly. Yes,
It's okay.
I speak about non-dualism. Yes. I'm just going to adjust the volume a little bit. Yeah, I speak about non-dualism and just share my experience and explore questions with people.
Well, I had a few times in my life, and I think many times when I was a teenager as well, where I had that flash, the glimpse, what people call the glimpse.
Yes, yes, yes. That's very good. That's very good. That's very precious.
Yeah, because once you have seen this, then you kind of know that something is not as it seems.
Right. That's true. Once you have a glimpse, you can't completely, you cannot fully go back to being a separate self, to be, just your conditioned. You, you, you on the surface you may do that, but deep down there is a something that's unsettled. So in a way, the beginning of the interest in truth starts with a glimpse, and then of course that's the beginning of the journey. It's the beginning of the search. It's the beginning of the inquiry.
I had one quite recently, um, uh, about 2 months ago or something,
Yeah,
and then a few times after that too.
yeah, yeah,
And sometimes it feels like my personality almost completely dissolves,
yes,
and
yes,
I'm just there. I'm just there, and life is just happening, and
yeah, yeah. Personality is an overlay. It's it's not really what we are. Not there is a problem with personality. It's just that that's not what we truly are. It's like a various an actor when gets on the stage. Hello, Tay. Hello. When an actor gets on the stage, maybe playing a certain role, then for that period of time, the actor is that role. If they're playing Othello or whatever they're playing, but what they truly are is not that. So it's true that when you have a glimpse of your true nature, you realize that what appears is not what you truly are. Tay, you might want to mute your mic, or maybe hello.
Can you mute it for me? I'm trying to see where to mute it.
Yes, I hear
Hi,
you well.
Magdi.
Hello, Tay.
Thanks.
If you move your cursor around on the screen, in on
Okay.
my screen, it shows up on the top of the screen around there, where sort of there are like different icons that show up, and one of them
Yeah,
is
I don't see it on this one here. I have my
oh
little iPad on.
okay. So if you have your iPad, then just be careful
Lower it?
with noise. Just be careful with noise, ambient noise,
Okay.
because whatever
I
noise
lowered mine.
you know
I'm going to
we
try to get
pick
another
we
computer.
all pick it we all okay. Okay, I'm going to lower your volume at the same time. Hello, Alvaro. Hello, hello. So,
Nice to see you.
yeah, good to see you too. Very lovely to see you. Very nice. So, yeah, I was just talking with Allah that, you know, when there is a glimpse of our true nature, then sort of our belief system in all what we believe that we are becomes more shaky, less solid, and it's a very good thing. It's a very good thing.
It can feel sometimes, Magdi, quite scary.
Yeah, yeah. It's part of it.
It's like a losing of control.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. You know, unfortunately, it's a package deal. You know, whenever the separate self, meaning the imagined me, is put in question, it rebels because it recognizes that its days are numbered, and so it fights back. And one of the ways, the very efficient way for the separate self, meaning the imagined me, to fight back is to scare you, is, you know, to come into your body and to come sometimes in your sleep, in your dreams, and just sort of get into your feeling state, because that's where we are most vulnerable, in our feeling state. And but you have to trust, you know, you have to sort of trust the path, you know, trust the path in spite of the fears, to just forge ahead with your contemplation. It's really, you know, it's really worth it. What might be helpful with the fear Allah is to sort of few things. First, not to stand away from the fear, to sort of investigate it, to open yourself up to it. I know it might seem like impossible to do, but you experiment in your own way. Oh, hello, Ilse. So you experiment in your own way about how you can sort of approach, you know, the fear. It might not be like a full blast approach to it, but explore that, because as you get closer to the fear, you would be surprised to find that it's not as real, as solid as it seems from a distance. The other thing about the fear is to, which is alongside what I was just saying a minute ago, to approach it, is not to try to alter it, not to try to, don't try to fix your feelings, don't try to fix the sensations that arise in your body, because when you try to fix the fear, then it will just move around in a other way in your body, and it will amplify. Instead, be like very gracious with it as much as you can. Be friendly to it and trust. Hello, Paula, and trust that that it will not cause you any harm. The fear is a way in which the me, hello Lee, the me is maintained. It's when I am scared, then the I rises to act from the fear. And when you're acting from the fear, you are feeding the fear, you are reinforcing the fear. Please, if you can, make sure to mute your mics or use headphones. The other thing I wanted to say about fear is that fear can also be viewed as simply a sensation, and there is an echo, and the reason why there is an echo is because somebody is speaker is on. Let me see if I can mute you. One moment. Okay, okay, I'm just making some changes here. Okay, back to what I was saying. If you can perceive the fear as just a bodily sensation with a me story. So fear is a sensation in your chest, maybe, or in your throat, or in your neck, in your belly, and that a sensation. When you go to the sensation, you can go to a sensation of your belly right now. You will find that the sensation is not a fixed thing. It's not an object. It's not a form. It's not hello, Lina. Hello, Dolores.
Hi.
It's not as a concrete thing. So if you go to the sensation of your belly, right now, and you try to visualize it. You try to visualize the sensation of your belly right now. You will find a very diffuse image. It's not like you are looking at a tree or you're looking at a table or a chair. It's diffuse. Doesn't have solid edges. One exercise that might be helpful with I'm adjusting Lina and Ilse. There's some background noise. Again, if you can please mute your mic if you're not talking. One of the exercises that you could experiment with is whenever there is the fear, stop for a moment and imagine that you have some paint in your inner space, that you have some virtual paint and a virtual brush and a virtual screen to paint with, and try to paint the sensation. Try to paint the fear on the screen. Just as you look at the paint, at the fear, paint it. Yeah, paint it. Just whatever way you know it speaks to you. And this is an interesting exercise because it objectifies the fear. Because the fear wants to come and grab you. It wants to make out of you its subject. But when you sort of stand apart from it and paint it, you will find a pretty interesting shift in the relationship with the fear. It ceases to be your fear. It becomes just a cosmic event that you are witnessing. Experiment with that, or maybe you can even create your own experimentation. The main thing. Oh, Tay is Tay. Tay, can you mute your mic, please?
Yes, I'm trying to.
Okay, thank you.
Take off the laptop. I mean the little iPad.
Okay, Tay, thank you. So, as I was saying, it's just about objectifying the feeling, the emotion. When you objectify the emotion, you are approaching it from the witness point of view. In other words, you are approaching it from pure presence, from pure consciousness. And so it ceases to be a problem that you are having, a problem that you need to fix.
I'm trying to take off the little iPad. Ooh.
It's okay. You'll get it there. So, whenever you have a glimpse into your true nature, it is as if you've been in a dark room your whole life, and somehow there was a storm, and one window in your house that was totally shut and boarded up got opened, and some of the light of the sun just shining through into your space. This light is all around all the time, but because you were living in the room with all the doors and the windows boarded up, you never knew that there was the sunshine. So when you realize, oh my goodness, there is sunshine, there is something, and that's real, it's something. What is that? It's really important that you don't forget it, that you sort of cherish it and care for it and investigate it and contemplate it and inquire about it, like you are doing here in this meeting.
I have watched very many YouTubes about it.
Yes.
And now I kind of almost feel like there isn't anything else to do.
Okay.
And that's why the fear is there, because I kind of feel like, almost like something inside of me is saying, you're going to go mad or something. Like.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Allah. So, if you can turn your attention right now to not just the screen, you're perceiving the screen right now, but if you can turn your attention to whatever it is that's perceiving the screen, or another way of putting it, if you can turn your attention to the fact of perception, not just what you are perceiving, but the magical quality that's there, which we refer to as perception. So rather than turning your attention to what you are watching, sort of turn your attention to the source that hears these words right now, without having any idea of what it is. There is a fact right now that you are perceiving this perception, right? You are perceiving this perception. There is the perception, but there is something. It's not a thing, but I say something. There is a knowingness of this perception. And this knowingness of this perception is right here, right now. You follow?
Completely.
Yes. And this knowingness, if you turn your head to the right and look at the wall in your room, the knowingness is that there is a knowingness of a different perception, but it's that same knowingness. It's the same knowingness that is now taking on the form of a different perception, the wall. and you come back to the screen. Now there is the screen, and there is a knowingness of this perception. There is a knowingness of the screen. There is a constant among all what varies, among all the events that vary. There is a constant, which is the knowingness of hearing these words right now, which you are hearing these words right now, right? Are you following me?
Yes, completely, yes.
Okay. So this knowingness, in other words, this knowingness of this perception right now is not a concept. It's a fact. It's a truth. It's real. Why?
I sometimes think, because what you're guiding me into here is what keeps happening to me, and now it's happening without any choice, and
Okay.
I've even been on buses and to different places and things, and been completely there with
Okay.
that perception, and just seeing everything arising and life just happening.
Wonderful.
And
yes. Yes.
yeah, and it
But-
just happens.
Right.
And
Right. Yes. Yes. You see,
which is quite a big thing for me, because my brain is wired autistically, so I find it very difficult to travel on buses and be in busy places, and there was no problem
right.
because I was in this other space
Mhm.
completely.
Yes. Yes. You see that other space, which is basically the whatever the space right here, right now that hears these words. Yes, there is a space right here, right now that hears these words, this presence. This presence is eternal. It's always there. But in most cases, it goes completely unnoticed because we are in our feelings and we are busy with the objects. We are more drawn towards the thoughts about objects and the feelings that we're experiencing. But everything that arises in this presence. It's eternal. It's always there. But what's lovely about this presence is that it is peace. It is peace. It is tranquility, equanimity. It is just
felt, when I first experienced it, I felt like the only way to describe it was the peace that passeth all understanding.
Yes, right. It is. So the peace that passeth all understanding is the separate self perceives it as a threat. The separate self perceives it as its ending, because the separate self is not about peace. It's about pursuit and avoidance. It's the process of pursuit and avoidance. So when you start awakening to the presence that passes all understanding, then the pursuit and the avoidance aren't there. There is really no more interest in pursuing anything or avoiding anything, because you are in the peace, you are in the tranquility, you are in the well-being. So the separate self rebels and figures ways of scaring you, figures ways of placing doubt. Oh gee, well, you're gonna go crazy, you're gonna go wild, you're gonna lose your sanity, you're gonna it's just, but it pales in front of the peace, in front of the perfume of love that comes from presence. A separate self doesn't stand a chance. It's on its way out. So this presence, is eternal. It's always there. It never comes and goes. It is events on the screen that come and go. Like the weather. the weather changes, circumstances in our life changes, our partners might change. Hello, Linda. So there are all sorts of changes that happen on the screen, but the screen itself is changeless. And the screen that we're talking about is this aware presence right here, right now, that hears these words. And this aware presence is you. The true you. The reality of consciousness. Oh, I'm hearing some bell. I'm hearing some, okay, it stopped. I was hearing some bells. Odd, okay. Yes, so I was saying that is the true you. And the am I the only one hearing? Are you hearing something?
I can hear bells as well.
What are these bells? Let me see. What.
I can hear bells.
It's what? Okay, it stopped now, but there were some bells. Okay, it stopped now. Well,
I guess that my biggest kind of question or thought or feeling on all of this is what is going to happen next for me, because and you might not be able to answer that. I don't know if anybody can, but it feels like something is about to happen.
Yeah, something is about to happen. It's bound to happen. What is going to happen is that the sense of alienation and limitation that you've been living, the Allah story that you've been living, is going to come to an end, and it's going to be replaced with peace and happiness. The separate self, the me story, the me in the dream, is going to not let me specify. Let me give a metaphor. When you are dreaming that you are a butterfly, yes, and you feel like a butterfly, you're going from flower to flower, it seems very real to you. And so at some point the butterfly gets an inkling. It gets an inkling, wait a minute, am I real? Am I real? It gets an inkling because you who are dreaming that you're a butterfly, you're getting ready to wake up. You had your good night's sleep and you're ready to wake up. So the butterfly gets a little, thought like, oh goodness, am I a butterfly or am I not a butterfly? Maybe what's happening here? What is going to happen to me? That's your question. You just asked me a minute ago. One of the questions that arises for me is, what is going to happen to me? It's the same thing as the butterfly asking, oh, what is going to happen to me? You see, the butterfly is not real, is a dream, is made out of you. And the thought that the butterfly is having, what is going to happen to me, is also you thinking that thought. So you are dreaming the butterfly, and you are dreaming the butterfly asking herself or itself, what is going to happen to me? Will you wake up? When you wake up, you realize, oh, I was dreaming I was a butterfly that was wondering what's going to happen to me, and that was flying from flower to flower. So it's similar in that way. The only difference, awakening and waking up from the dream, is that in awakening, you wake up from all dreams. So in the night sleep, in your night dreams, you wake up in the morning and that specific dream is finished. But the next night, you dream again. This time you're a tiger, and you really feel and believe that you're a tiger, and or maybe you are a farmer. You dream that you're a farmer, and that there is a tiger coming to chase you, and you get scared. That is what happens in the night dream, and the difference between night dream and the waking state. But the awakened state, you continue to dream that you are a butterfly, but you know that you're not. In other words, right now, I guess I am Megdi, and you are Ella, and Laina, and Ilse, and Linda, and Alvaro. But I know that you are consciousness and that I am consciousness. I don't know it intellectually. I know it because my experience is that I am not, there is no separation. I am not a separate entity. So what happens to you as you continue to investigate your true nature is that you move slower and slower towards peace and happiness, towards freedom, peace and happiness, and the end of the roller coaster of happy today, unhappy tomorrow. The shadow becomes fainter and fainter as the light becomes brighter and brighter. As the sun rises, it goes from dawn to light. So there is a process of increased clarity, increasing equanimity, increasing peace, lesser and lesser disturbance, lesser and lesser being affected by the emotions, lesser and lesser emotions arising, lesser and lesser contrariety happening in your life, and lesser identification with your beliefs, with your ideas, with your opinions about this and that, and your identities as a woman, your identities as a daughter, as a sister, as an American, as a Christian, a Muslim, a Jewish, a Buddhist, whatever. All these become fainter and fainter and fainter and fainter, and the love of the divine love, the grace, the peace and tranquility of presence become more and more your experience. And you live in life, you live as anybody else, except you are free. There is no angst, there is no suffering, and there is beauty, intelligence, humor, happiness, effortless compassion and wisdom.
It feels sometimes as though time no longer exists.
Yeah, you know,
that all moments are one or something.
Yeah, you know, time is like a journey of something, of somebody from point A to point B. So it takes time for me to journey from here to there. Of course, I mean, we're not talking about chronological time, because chronological time is not an issue. The psychological time, feeling that I am moving in time, meaning that I am moving, well, from birth to death, to make a long story short, that's what it's about, is also fades away. Yes, fades away, and just the presence. Because like really, if you look at time, it is thought and sensation. Like for example, what's going to happen to me tomorrow? Am I going to get enlightened tomorrow? That's a thought about me, which is another thought or memory or image, and it's a sensation. Maybe again, like we were talking before about fear, in this case it might be some sort of anxiety, but it doesn't matter what you label the emotion, it's still a sensation at some basic level. It is a sensation, and that has a story around it. But so when you look at the experience of angst around time, and you sort of peel the onion, you come onto thought and sensation. And what is unseen is what's real, which is the screen upon which the thought and the sensation arise. So like right now, the screen upon which the hearing of these words arises, meaning the knowingness of these words, is unseen, but that is the reality of whatever appears. Everything that appears is made out of the unseen reality of consciousness. It's the senses have been used to define what's real. So we say a tree is real, a body is real, a table is real, so a smell is real. So we use the senses to define what is real, and we overlook that the senses, or the sense of smell or perception, whatever senses, the perceiving is not done by the senses. The perceiving is done by consciousness. In other words, we overlook the elephant in the room. We overlook the consciousness that actually perceives. I like to use the metaphor of somebody who's using, I'm sorry, I'm going to just see if I can do something about some ambient noise. One moment. Okay, it's better now. I like to use a metaphor of a scientist, using a microscope. So with the microscope, the scientist looks at a bacteria and perceives, the cells and all what's happening, through. But it's not the microscope that sees. It is the scientist that perceives. The same thing with the senses. It's not the senses that perceive. It's not the eyes that perceive, or the ears that hear, or the tongue that tastes. It is consciousness that through
So
those
the senses are just an instrument.
Yes, they are the instruments of consciousness, because
They're just an instrument. Yeah.
Yes, because only consciousness is conscious. An eye is not conscious. A brain is not conscious. A white cell is not conscious. Only consciousness is conscious. So you have to attribute if you attribute consciousness to an object, to an instrument, you are attributing it incorrectly. And the consciousness is yourself. It's not in in another room, or in a file. It's not in another space. It's right here, right now. Consciousness, right here, right now. This consciousness, whatever hears these words, so consciousness is yourself. It's not something that you will discover in time, or it's not something that you forget. It's what you are. You are this consciousness, and that's the eternity of consciousness. And in realizing the eternity of consciousness, the beauty of this realization is that the impression of being immortal, body-mind, dissolves. The virus of mortality dissolves, and the unhappiness is removed from the space. And that's what we all strive for, is to be happy through everything, through relationships or through job or through travel, eating, whatever, situations we are wanting to be happy. So, but in the happiness, when we go for happiness in the forms, in the objects, then it's not very safe, because we know that this form is impermanent. Whatever it is, even if it's a relationship of great love, we know at some level that this relationship is impermanent. So the seed of fear is already there. The seed of unhappiness is already there, because we are going for happiness in the world, in the mind and in situations, and so we're not fully happy. But because we don't know otherwise, we continue to go after objects or after relationships, and but at some point we get exhausted, or we get sick, or we can't stand it anymore. So then there might be some, as you said in your case, there might be some insight into our true nature, or there might be just so much frustration that we start wondering, what is going on me? What is this all about? Anyways, there are many ways of coming onto this journey. It doesn't really matter which way we come to it, as long as we do.
Maggie.
Yes, hello, Dolores.
Hi. I feel like I'm in this in-between place. I understand everything of what you say, that we're consciousness, but just this past weekend I was what was I? I was I can't think of the word, like addicted to this thought of a person,
To the what?
I was stuck on
Oh,
the thought
yes.
of a person.
Okay.
And I couldn't get out of thinking about it. I kept going round and around. I just feel like I'm in this in-between place or something that I understand, but I wish that I still wasn't addicted to form.
Okay. Yeah. Dolores, nobody is forcing you. So, in a way, at some level, you don't want to. You don't want to really. So, you listen to thoughts that arise. I might say, oh, that's too scary. I'm gonna lose my goodies. What's gonna happen to me? But nobody is forcing you to listen to these thoughts and to pay attention to these thoughts. At some level, it's a choice you are making.
I'm sure on some level it is a choice that I'm making. I believe you. Like, I have faith that that is the case, but I don't feel like consciously I'm making a choice. And it just like, you know, overwhelms me.
Well, Dolores, you make a choice every moment. You make a choice. Every moment that you decide to, you know, to say yes to a certain thought, or to accept, you know, that, oh my goodness, this fear is coming. I can't deal with it. You're making a choice. A choice is not a choice that you make ahead of time. You make a choice moment by moment. It's not like you're choosing to be miserable as a general choice. You make a choice when you accept the idea, oh my God, it would be nice if I was living in the Bahamas. At that very moment, you made a choice to give validity to that thought, to sort of, yes, be the Dolores that would be better off, in a different situation, or would be better off if she had a different relationship, or whatever. So it's a moment by moment attention. It is not like making a resolution. It is a moment by moment attention that is not something that you are deciding to do later. So you decide moment by moment to go with, on the side, on the fence of the Dolores person, meaning the Dolores person is a woman, is born on such a date, lives in a certain place, goes shopping, and so on, does this and that for a living, has these and those relationship, has family members, etc. There's a whole story. The Dolores story is a choice that you to be the Dolores, and or to be the presence that is untouched by whatever thoughts, feelings, and sensation arise on the screen. Now, you could say, well, it's also a habit. Okay, it's a habit, but nobody forces anything onto you. So, but at some point it becomes clear to you, Dolores, that yes, there is the Dolores character, meaning thoughts and images, memories, emotions and feelings, sensations. Yes, there is that. And there is no sense denying that. Right now, there is a perception. Right now, there might be a thought, I am Megdi, or I am Dolores. There is no denying that. So there is all of that. But also, there is consciousness, there is awareness, there is the screen that perceives. There is the aware presence that perceives the thought, that perceives the perception. When you're looking at your mother, there is the image of your mother that appears as a perception. And there is also you as awareness that is perceiving this perception. Like right now, you're perceiving the screen. There is the screen. You perceive your room, Dolores' room. But there is also the presence, the aware presence, the consciousness, the awareness that perceives this perception. And you know that is real, because you cannot remove consciousness or awareness from the perception, because what would be any perception without awareness? If you remove awareness out of a perception, the perception doesn't even exist. If you remove awareness from you're looking at your mother, if you remove from this perception of looking at your mother, if you remove awareness or consciousness, what would be that image? It wouldn't even be. What would that perception be? It would not even be. So you know that the reality of consciousness is there. It's not something that you perceive through the senses, but you know it's there. It is its own proof. It is its own proof. Consciousness is its own proof. It does not need to be proven via anything. You know it as your direct experience. Once you get to that point where you know that you are this aware presence that right now hears these words, that you are this consciousness that hears these words, that perceives this perception, then there is a choice of how, whether you want to perceive through the lenses of being this limited mortal body mind with her memories and her stories and her hopes and her addictions and her habits, or taking the position of being the presence that is present and untouched by whatever arises. Because like the screen of this laptop there are all sorts of images on it, but the screen is not stained by the images. It's not. It takes the form of the image, but it keeps morphing a different image. Images keep moving, but the screen remains the screen. It remains. It doesn't take on the destiny. It doesn't have the fate of whatever happens on the screen. Like if somebody dies on the screen does not die. It doesn't take on the fate, the destiny of whatever arises on it. So that's what you truly are. You are that consciousness that perceives the Dolores character. There's nothing wrong with the Dolores character. It's amusing. Magdi character. It's amusing. I don't know. It's it can snap its fingers. It can make a joke. It can laugh at a joke. Whatever. It's also very loving. It can be very loving. You can look at somebody and just be there in their presence, and there is such warmth and love and beauty, and there's beauty and love in presence. That's wonderful. It's a wonderful dream, a expression of consciousness. It's a wonderful way in which consciousness appears and plays. It's lovely, but it's not lovely when you take the position, wait, I'm me and you're you, and what can you do for me? And you're not doing enough for me, and the whole me and poor you. Why did you do this to me? Him and her. That is not happy, right?
Right. So the moment that I begin to have any type of angst or fear, I know that I'm in the me character, huh?
Yes, and you can go directly to the screen, because the screen is always there, like I was talking with Ala a minute ago, that the screen is always there whenever a fear or anything arises, and you have to find out for yourself. But yes, whenever there is an emotion that arises, there is a me character in there. Check it out for yourselves. Whenever there is a certain emotion, there is a me and a
even love.
Even what?
Even love.
Well, you see, there is a love that comes from a sense of wanting something that we call love, but it's not really love. I use the word love in a totally different way. I talk of love as being just the borderless presence that loves everybody and everything. It's effortless love. It's different from me loving that, oh, I love this and that. Now, so we can talk about love in a little bit more detail later on, or at some other point. I just want to stay with it.
I understand what you're saying.
Yes. So whenever
I understand what you mean. It's not love.
Right, right, right. There is love, which is pure presence. When a friend comes to you and is talking with you, and you are just just there, not you are there for them. No, no, you're just there. You just friend is talking to you. You're just there. You're listening, and you're speaking without pushing anything onto them. If there is space, you can sense, if you are careful, you can sense if there is space for you to say something. Or there is no space, then you're just listening. And if there is nothing for you to say, even if there is space, you can just be in silence with your friend. So that is very beautiful. It's very beautiful to be this way with a friend. With anybody. It's beautiful to be this way, period. Sometimes we are together in silence. It's very beautiful. Hello, sweetheart. it's,
That's my granddaughter, Kira.
Your granddaughter, she's beautiful. Yes, hello.
Hey, Magdi.
Yes, yes, hello, Linda.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I didn't want to sort of barge in and interrupt. Well, I did actually. That's why I did it.
No interruption.
I have to go in a few minutes because I've got to go to this funeral. But I just wanted to say thanks so much, Dolores. I can so relate to your question. I thought my question was sort of different, but it's exactly the same. I'm currently addicted to the thoughts of physical pain, and I've got all this, physical pain in my neck and my shoulders, and I'm sort of distracted by it, and, the thoughts are, oh, I just want to get rid of it so that I can be happy. I'm supposed to be happy and joyful. That's my true nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I just loved what you said, Magdi, about how it's a choice moment by moment, and whether the temptation or the distraction from presence comes in the form of a thought or it comes in a sensation really doesn't matter, does it? It's always a choice. But I'm finding it really hard to get into the presence because I'm so pissed off and angry that I have this pain, and I just want it to go.
Yeah. Well, Linda, are you seeing getting some treatment for the pain? Are you following some therapies and so on? I assume that you are. Yes.
Well, there's nothing much I can do about it because I used to be a drug addict, and I can't take anything. I can't take painkillers, and they've said that I need surgery.
But aren't there like other means, like some acupuncture, some shiatsu, some form of some other
I've tried everything, and all I'm left with is, well, I've tried all the worldly things, so I suppose the only choice now I've got left with is just to go into the presence. I mean, I've exhausted all other possibilities.
Okay, well, I mean, it's just, again, if you have explored or are exploring non-drug approaches to your pain, which I definitely would recommend that, then you don't want to add to your pain anger. You don't want to add to your pain impatience, or because it exacerbates everything. It exacerbates the pain, and also psychologically it sort of blocks the flow of energy throughout the space. So there can be a quiet place from which you can approach the pain just at the body level. there is a quietness also in the body, which is the space. The 99.9% of matter is space. So at the body level, which is a form, there is 99.9% space, which is stillness, peace and stillness at the body level. So you can surrender the pain rather than contract around it, give it, allow it to recognize the space that permeates it, that surrounds it, and that actually is even its substance. So maybe you can, when there is these episodes of pain, to sort of be quiet, sort of not get distracted, and allow your body to expand, and allow the pain to expand with your body, to expand through like a sphere, like you're a sphere that's just expanding in all directions through the earth, through the space, through the clouds, through the sky, through the planet, through the galaxy, and through the cosmos. Work with that.
Can I just let all the anger expand out as well? Because that's sort of mixed in with the pain, because I'm sort of pissed off that I'm in pain.
The anger has a bodily dimension, has a sensory dimension, and it has a conceptual dimension. At the sensory dimension, it's a contraction in the body. So, and there is also like, oh, why is this happening to me? When is this gonna stop? Why does God not, like me? So yes, so if you can go to the anger at the body level, to locate it in the body as a sensation. If you can locate your psychological emotion in the body as a sensation, and then allow the sensation to also give it the space that's all around it, because it's all space. This entire experience right now that we're having is imbued with the stillness, is imbued with the peace of space, it's imbued with presence, it's imbued with the formless, with that is not perceived and yet perceives everything. So that's for you. I know you have to go. Yes. Okay,
I have
Linda.
to go. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
That's excellent. And
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
I'll see you later.
Okay. See you, Linda.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Magdi?
Hey, yes.
Hey, if
Hey,
no
Lee.
one else has a question, I have a question.
Okay, Lee.
Okay. I'm a little bit stuck in the aspect of I understand completely when you say we are the screen of consciousness, and things arise on that come and go, and the screen stays constant.
Mm-hmm.
And we are the screen of consciousness. All of us are that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the things that arise on that screen, thoughts, images, just everything that arises that I perceive, that is an aspect of consciousness as well, correct?
Yes, yes. There is nothing, there is no substance outside of consciousness. There is no external reality. Only the reality of consciousness is real. So it is through consciousness that you know this perception. It is through the reality of consciousness that you perceive this beep. It is through the reality of consciousness that you perceive your thoughts. There is no external reality but the reality of consciousness. It is like the reality of water. Use a metaphor of water. It's the reality of water that takes on the shape of steam when the temperature reaches a certain point. And it's that same reality of water that takes on the shape of ice when the temperature reaches below zero. It's only the reality of consciousness that takes on all forms.
Yeah, and I get that. And what helps me step out of my reactions or step out of feelings that I used to not really want, but I'm trying to accept more. But what I try to do is just realize I am not the feeling, I am not what's happening, I am the conscious screen that's observing it, or I'm perceiving it.
Sure, that's very helpful. That's
then
helpful.
Something tells me, well, I'm also what's being perceived. Mm-hmm. And I just have a confusion in regards to, I guess, on the screen, I'm also what is perceived, and I go back and forth in my mind.
Let's simplify it right now.
Okay.
So right now, you are the awareness that perceives this image. Are you with me?
Yes.
It's awareness, and you are this awareness is consciousness.
Right.
It's consciousness. Consciousness is perceiving this image. You are this awareness that's perceiving this image, that's hearing this voice.
Right.
Yes? Now, there is also an image. You're perceiving an image, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, which one? I mean, I get confused. Am I the awareness that's perceiving the image, or am I the image? Sometimes I feel I'm the, awareness that's perceiving the image. Sometimes I feel I'm the image. Which one am I? And I'm confused about it. Well, look directly right now. So this image, where is it?
It's the same place that perception is.
Exact same place where perception is. And where is awareness?
Same place.
Same place.
Yeah.
So the image, the perception, the awareness, and I, meaning you, I, in the same place. So what's the confusion? It's like saying, I'm really confused. Like I look at my hand, I see my hand, I look at my leg, I see my leg, I look again at my hand, I look at my leg, I'm like, am I leg? Is my leg? Am I my leg? My hand? What's the confusion?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that my mind, or the I that I think I am, wants to go to this place that is not my reactions.
The I that you believe you are, cannot go to consciousness. The I that you think you are is perceived.
Yeah.
Is perceived. It believes itself to be an entity. It believes itself to have an independent reality, and that it can go to the reality of consciousness. But it cannot, because it is perceived, it is dreamt, it is perceived. You perceive the memories of you when you were born, where you were born, your mother, your father, if you have brothers and sisters. You perceive those memories. You perceive your body. You perceive your arms. You perceive your bodily sensations. They're perceived. So the you, what you take yourself to be, is a set of images, thoughts, and beliefs that are perceived. It's like in the dream. In the dream, you are dreaming that you are a 12-year-old boy walking, or you are, a 60-year-old man sitting in a living room. And you ask, gee, I am the 60-year-old man, and I would like to know Lee. Lee is you who are sleeping. You are in bed. Okay, you're dreaming of this 60-year-old man.
Yeah.
and that 6-year-old man is you.
Yep.
So in the dream.
Yeah.
So now the question is, the 60-year-old man in the dream wants to know you.
Yeah.
wants
But I'm the one dreaming.
Wants to know you, who are dreaming it, but it cannot. The butterfly that is in your dream
cannot know the me that's sleeping.
Exactly, that is dreaming it.
The me cannot know the dreamer.
Yes,
the dreamed character cannot know the dreamer.
The dreamer, you got it. You got it. The dream character cannot know what is dreaming it. What is dreamt cannot know the dreamer.
So the dream is more real than the dreamt.
I'm sorry, come again?
The dreamer, the one in bed sleeping, is more who I am than the character that is being dreamt.
Yes, you could say it that way. I put it a different way. The way I put it is that the dreamer is what is real, and the dreamt has a borrowed reality from the reality, from the one reality, the only one reality, which is the dreamer, has a borrowed reality. In other words, like the sun shine on the moon. At night you look up at the moon and you have the impression that the moon is shining. In fact, it is the sun that is shining onto the moon. So the moon has a borrowed, it borrows its light from the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, makes perfect sense.
Once you start to realize that what you take yourself to be, what you imagine yourself to be, is perceived by consciousness. Because when you contemplate what it is that you are, first thing you come upon is all sorts of memories and thoughts, emotions and beliefs. And then you realize through your meditations and through satsang that these thoughts and these memories and these beliefs require consciousness to be perceived. How could you remember you being 12 years old without consciousness? That image, you go right now to an image of you when you were 12 years old.
If I go to the image of who I think I am, which I know is an image and a memory and a file cabinet of stuff, what I want to notice is the perceiver of those images.
Yes. Yes, take any image. Take an image when you pick an image. Pick an image. Any one specific image. Any specific image.
I got it.
Yes. So this image that you're seeing right now requires you, the seer, requires consciousness to see it right now.
Yes. Yep.
Right now. So whatever images arise to you, about what you supposedly are not what you truly are, because they're appearing to you, the real you, like in a dream, that the dream, that 6-year-old man appears to you, the dreamer, but that 6-year-old man is just a thought that you are having in your sleep.
So if I have the thought of the 60-year-old man, go back to the dreamer.
I'm sorry, come again?
If I have the thought of the 60-year-old man, go back to the dreamer. Just know I'm the dreamer and not the thought of the dreamer.
Yes, absolutely. You know, absolutely. It's a good practice to turn your attention to the awareness.
Even if it's just a perception, the simplest thing is a perception. I can turn myself and say, I'm perceiving this.
Yes.
Thought of that I think is myself. I'm just
absolutely
that.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, you don't need to do that. It's yes, yes. It's once you realize it's the reality. It's the reality of your experience. You go, duh. It's like this. It applies across the board. Is there anything that you experience that outside of consciousness?
No.
No. How could you?
It's all consciousness. It's all perceiving
It's
something.
all exactly. You got it. So you come to the reality of consciousness. You realize, oh my goodness, wow! All along, I thought the reality was with me, Lee, or with the tree, or the car, or my mother, or this. I realized the reality is consciousness.
Okay.
That's
reality is the perception of anything that arises.
it is consciousness, right? The knowingness, the consciousness, the awareness, the aware presence. We use terms just to simplify the conversation, but it's really beyond language. I mean, consciousness, right here, right now. If you go to direct experience of presence right now, go to it right now.
Yeah.
The experience of presence. It's a wordless experience.
Well, I guess I believe that I don't experience the deep sensations of awareness, but the whole aspect of perception is everything.
Yeah, that's good enough. Don't worry about deep perceptions of awareness. I mean, don't complicate it. It's as simple as just as simple as presence.
Okay.
You know, like when you were in school and you were a young boy, they call you your name in class. Say, "Are you present?" You say, "Yes, I'm present." It's that simple.
Okay, I'll keep doing that.
Presence is simplicity itself.
Okay.
No complication to it.
Got it.
The mind wants to complicate things because it wants to get back on board and says, "Oh, I need to figure it out."
My mind wants to get it too.
Yes, my mind wants to get on board. The mind. Right? There is always a me behind the scene.
Yeah.
Separate me, the story, the me story behind the scene. The me that is always lacking and is seeking to. It's playing a game of maintaining itself.
Yeah. Sure is.
It's not really. I mean, the separate self is not after the truth, because the truth is the end of the separate self. But it plays the game.
Yeah.
It plays a spiritual game.
It has to act like it's seeking, because otherwise there'll be no reason to keep it around.
You're right. Once you become on the spiritual path, the separate self says, "Oh boy, he's going on a spiritual path. I better play that game too."
Right.
So it tells you, "Oh, you need to get enlightened. You need to get enlightened. You need to practice and get enlightened. And believe me, if you practice hard, in 20 years you'll get enlightened."
Or it says, "You can do it, but it's really, really hard, so it might take you a long time."
Yes, it will take you a long time. It loves time, because in time it maintains itself. Yes,
right.
It's a hoax. Once you start to see that this entire play is occurring in presence, right here, right now. The purity of presence, the aware presence is right here, right now. This entire play is created by consciousness and is perceived, lived, experienced by consciousness.
Yeah. Okay. That will be my practice for now.
Okay, good practice.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Hello, Alvaro. Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, let me see. I don't hear you. One moment, Alvaro.
Do you hear me?
One moment.
See?
Okay. Yes, I hear you now. Yes, I had your volume muted.
All right. During this satsang, I just noticed very clear that really it's not possible to know what is consciousness. No more to know as an object.
Right, not as an object, yes.
As a form, right?
Right.
And sometimes that is very complicated for the mind, who wants to grab it who wants to understand it, but in the sense like an object. When you speak hand, body, whatever, right? Was very clear, that, my dear, very beautiful, because it's like really it's not possible to see it in that way.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's paradoxical, paradójico, or
yes, paradoxical. Yes.
Exactly. But at the same time, is knowing, is a feeling that all there is this.
Yes, 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 yes. You know, right? Consciousness is its own proof. It stands. It proves itself. It does not get proven via the mind, via an experience, or via anything. It is its own. Its own validity. It validates itself moment by moment. It eternally validates itself, because it's never not. It's never absent. It's never. There is the reality is not real for 25 days of the month and 5 days it's on vacation. It's not like that. The reality is a reality 24/7, 365 days a year for eternity. It's eternal. Reality is eternal. It's eternity and infinity. And the mind is observed. It's like a satellite passing in the night sky. That's the mind. Is a thought, perception, feeling, emotion, memory, hope, projection. They pass like satellite. They pass like they're like passing events. That's what the mind is. The mind is the conglomeration. What we refer to as the mind is the whole conglomeration of thoughts, feelings, sensations, memories, hopes, desires, worries, etc. That's what we refer to as a mind, Alvaro. There is no actual mind, like in a box somewhere. A mind refers to all these passing events. And how can a passing events that are particular, they are finite. How can the finite know the infinite? How could the temporal know the eternal? It is. It's not. It's not possible. It's not possible. But there is no issue with that because it's not even a question that's on the table. You see? But the conditioning, the ignorance, is that I, aware presence, I, consciousness, am a mortal body mind, a set of thoughts, feelings, and emotions that are existing in time, like the night that glows, that little insect that glows at night, that it glows on and off, and then sometimes it goes off. The ignorance says consciousness is that consciousness is this blimps of thoughts and emotions, and these feelings and perceptions, these blimps. That's ignorance. Ignorance says that's what I, consciousness, am. It's ridiculous. From the point of view when you are inside of the bubble, you cannot see it's ridiculous, because all you see, when you are in the cave and somebody talks to you about the ocean or about daylight, you don't know what they are talking about. You think that they are deluded. But once you're looking, you come onto awareness, onto the presence that you are. That you are this presence, this borderless presence, this infinite awareness. Then you can no longer identify with the thoughts and the feeling. You see them, you experience them, because consciousness takes on the form. I mean, obviously, there is a reality to this perception right now, but the reality of this perception is not the screen. It is consciousness. It's consciousness that appears as this perception, because you cannot remove consciousness out of any perception, out of any thought. You cannot remove it. You can remove the object. You can remove the screen right now. You can remove the image. You can change the image. You can change the image. You see, you can change the image. The image can change, but consciousness that perceives this image now, there. So the reality of a perception is not the perception, it is consciousness.
It's consciousness who is perceiving all this.
Yes, all perceptions are perceived through consciousness.
Yes.
All perceptions. So you can imagine one station, one central emitting station that emits million and million channels in all languages, and comical shows and tragedies and war movies, but it's one central channel, and everywhere in China, in Kolkata, in Japan, in Beirut, everywhere in the world, we're watching different images, but it's one emitter. Or you can think of electric wire, electric current, electricity that lights all the light bulbs, all the light bulbs, or all the electrical equipments are with that electricity, that one consciousness, an infinite manifestation.
Right. And the feeling also, or the perception state, everything is right here, right now.
Well, as long as right here, right now is eternity, I agree.
Right. It's not time. It's not time. It's a feeling that everything is happening. All this phenomenon, or all the things, is happening here, in this moment. But it's a moment. It's a moment that doesn't. It's a feeling that the moment doesn't move.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. It's Alvaro.
Yes.
Rather than looking at where and when the reality of consciousness is appearing, look directly at the formless and seamless quality, the boundaryless, uncontained, unbound, unlimited, undefined, uncreated, unborn quality of consciousness. Go to that that formless, universal, meaning boundaryless quality of presence. It's everything arises in it, out of it, is made out of it, and it remains unborn. It's more direct this way. Then the sense of borders will dissolve, and the sense of time and space will dissolve in the vastness of presence, and it will all just be permeated with love and beauty, and that space will just be just the love and beauty and freedom. That's the experience of consciousness. The mind entirely dissolves in the peace, in the stillness.
There is a clarity, I mean, a clarity.
Yes.
Like a light, the light of clarity.
Yes. Yes. Clarity, once the veils of ignorance dissolve, then the sun shines unobstructed. It's always been there. Clarity and intelligence, the qualities of consciousness, have always been there. And when the me, the identification and all the confusion about what I am is lifted, then effortlessly what I am is revealed, the self is revealed effortlessly. And wisdom, intelligence, and clarity, and love, and beauty, and affection, all of that, all of these qualities are effortlessly there. They're what consciousness is, what you are, what I am. What we truly are are these qualities, the perfume of consciousness. The experience of consciousness in the dream is a very sweet experience of loving kindness, effortlessly. It has no agenda. It's just a recognition that I am that, I am you, that we are that one consciousness. That consciousness arises as everything and everyone. That there is no separation. There is no Alvaro's belly is my belly. Alvaro's shoulders are my shoulders. Alvaro's face is my face. Alvaro's breath is my breath. That recognition, at a very deep level, that I am Alvaro, in the real sense, in the real sense, as consciousness, as this beauty, the love and the beauty, the peace, the love and the beauty of presence. And yes, the clarity and the wisdom. You will find that it's just available. The source will start flowing, will start speaking through you, seeing through you, perceiving through you, sensing through you. It's been doing that all along, but it's been doing it indirectly via the separate self. But once your separate self dissolves out of the space, then there is a direct it's a direct flow of the self, a direct manifestation of the self, moment by moment. Actually, it's eternal. It's a recognition, recognizing our true nature. It's a recognition. You know yourself. You know how there is that saying, know yourself. Recognize yourself. It's not discovering something else. It's knowing yourself. Know your true self. Know your true self. Your true self as awareness, as consciousness, as presence. There's no problem with Alvaro and the memories, and there's no problem with any of that. Not at all. It's all fine. But it's just not what you are.
Mm-hmm.
They're wonderful tools for celebration, inviting your friends over, going for a walk, going to a play, whatever, cooking a nice meal. All of that is available to the body-mind to celebrate and enjoy, appreciate. It's all very lovely. It's very lovely. Why not?
Right. You know, Maggie, at this moment, for me to describe what I feel, it's like I am like a child, you know? In the sense that there is a perception on all this. It's like a wonder, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can wonder, but I don't know what it is. There's a feeling inside it.
Yeah.
Wow, but I don't know really what is this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
it's a creation. It's a consciousness taking on this form. It's consciousness taking on the form for you to just celebrate and enjoy and experience. It's there, the kitchen, the refrigerator for you to cook, the car for you to drive and go visit friends, or it's there for you to play, like when you get on when you go to the theater, there is a stage and there is a background. There are maybe some chairs, I don't know, whatever the play is, and there are actors that are there they play these, here it's even more fun because you're not limited to the stage. You can go downtown, you can go up for a walk in the hills, you can listen to the birds, you can write, you can read a beautiful book, you can paint, you can learn to play an instrument, you can get a webcast, you can be on a hangout. So it is, it's it doesn't need to be complicated, you know. But
Right.
the key thing is to be in love, to be in the love and the celebration of consciousness of what you truly are. That's the beauty. The beauty is not in the world. It comes from the source. Yeah, it comes from the source.
Right.
So when you come to the source, when you come to the self, when you come to your true nature, then everything is celebration and beauty, and contemplation. And contemplation, like awe. Oh my God! Look at this! Wow, a wall. I mean, look at this color. Wow! You can, like, you could be pretty mesmerized by the color of the wall. Yeah, it's sense of awe. It's wonderful. It's amazing. I mean, colors isn't an amazing thing. I mean, look at the screen. Look at these colors. It's mind-boggling. It's magic.
Right.
It's amazing.
Exactly.
It's amazing. And that I talk. You hear this? I mean, this hearing, speaking. Am I speaking? Am I speaking? Am I hearing? It's amazing. It's absolute wonder.
Right.
But it's wonderful, happily so. It's happily wonderful, beautifully wonderful.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you all. It's been very, very lovely to be together. Very lovely, very lovely.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful.
Magdi.
Thank you. De nada. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Love you. Love you all. Love you.
Love you.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.